Good morning. So today is another day. I packed a ton of boxes till late last night. I've been averaging, I don't know how many boxes a day, but it's a lot of work doing it by yourself. I've checked into moving companies and it will cost me like $7,000, $8,000 to do it. And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna pay that kind of money just to have a bunch of guys slam stuff into boxes and then, move it cross country when I can maybe make two trips, 1,000 a piece. So I could do it myself, girl power. Rah. So, but anyway, so I've been thinking about the dating game. Oh, I never thought I'd have to be dating again. I mean, I was married for 17 years and in long-term relationships before that. And I used to always think, oh my gosh, well, at least I'll never have to date again. That was kind of like a solace sometimes if things were kind of dark during the relationship. But anyway, the dating game is just so weird nowadays because when I was younger, in my 20s, I'd go out to the bars or the clubs and find some guys to date, and it was really cool. But nowadays, like when you're in your 60s, dang, you go if you go to the clubs. Well, first of all, like all the eligible men are married or coupled up, or if a lot of them are there like on the rebound, or they're losers for whatever reason. I don't know. I hate to say that, but it just seems like I haven't been able to find a really good batch of guys. So anyway, so I've been trying this dating stuff, right? So I've got two dating sites. So one I was telling you about the other day was, everybody has the fish, and then this other one, is been fine, but it's been kind of weird because the thing with online dating is you can't look the guy straight into the eyes and tell if he's lying or not, right? And I'm sure it goes for the women. I know it goes both ways. Okay. But you just really can't tell if they're lying or not. And then it just seems like the caliber of people I've been meeting online are just like really, really strange because, okay, so for example, I'll give you a good example. I met this doctor online. And as we got to talking, he wanted to come over, and I'm like, I hadn't met him yet, right? I mean, yeah, I hadn't met him, and he wanted to come over because I told him I was listing the house, and he was like, well, let me come over, and before you list it, let me come over, and I want to take a look, and I'll have some ideas for you. And I go, no, I already have a realtor in mind, and he's very good. He's been in the business for 15 years. He knows what he's doing. Well, there's just some things that, he may not see that I might. I'm like, no, I don't think so. And he's like, well, I'll just come over tonight. And I said, no, I'm teaching tonight. Well, what time do you teach to? Well, I teach dancing. So I teach dancing till about 9:30. Well, then I'll come over afterwards. I'm like, no, I don't think so. So anyway, so I ended up dubbing this guy Dr. No. All right. So that's how I always refer to him as Dr. No. So anyway, so I was having lunch with a friend of mine, a guy friend of mine. He's a really, really nice guy. I kind of have a crush on him still. Anyway, so his name will be Hottie McHotpants. So I was having lunch with Hottie McHotpants, and so he was asking me about my dating life, and so I told him about Dr. No, and he goes, oh, so I guess Dr. No is turning into Dr. No Way. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. So anyway, yeah, it's kind of weird. I know. Wait, let me go back. Okay, so before that, so then the guy calls me up and he's talking to me, and I was telling him that I don't want a controlling man in my life because I just don't, right? Because my late husband wouldn't let me do anything around the house. He wouldn't even let me paint. And so I'm telling this guy this on the phone, right? And I said he wouldn't even let me paint my own bathroom. And he goes, well, I wouldn't either. I'm like, excuse me? He says, well, yes, well, you might not know the right kind of paint, And I'm like, I said, I painted my whole house when I was in Virginia, faux painted it with with all kinds of different, sponging. It was gorgeous. And I said, I know how to paint. And then he goes, well, I'm an alpha male, and so that's why I'm telling you all these things. And I'm like, oh, no, 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 don't be telling this, Mr. Alpha Male. I said, you're talking to an alpha female fully into her power, and I don't need any other controlling men in my life. Thank you very much. So anyway, so that's when I was telling this to Hottie McHotpants, and he was saying, oh, so Dr. No turned into Dr. No Way. Oh, I got to learn how to tell stories better. Anyway, so here are some of the games that I just want to kind of like pass on that I've been discovering with these silly dating sites. So I'm thinking that if a guy texts you or messages you on the site and tries to set up a time for you guys to talk or something like that, and then he doesn't show, I think he's married. I have heard a lot of things about guys being married on these sites, and then if you never ever reach him, like for example, I've got Minnesota Man. He's been contacting me for like months, right? And every time he's supposed to be in town or this or that, like something happens, and I'm thinking he's married, so I'm not gonna like follow through with him at all. And so a lot of these guys, like they can just tell you anything they want. I've heard stories about how guys will put up, or even women will put up profile pictures of somebody completely different, and then lead people on. Oh, and here's another one. Now, this hasn't happened to me yet, and if I stay on long enough, I'm sure I'll experience at least, get a sniff of it. But I've heard that people like to scam for money. And so guys and gals will try to get the other person to fall in love with them on the phone or text or whatever it is, and then come up with some sort of story like, oh, I need money for these pills because my insurance won't pay for it, and then they'll start you off with like a small amount, like $250 or something like that, and then they'll kind of go up. So I have heard horror stories from different folks I've talked with who are involved with dating sites, that this is a real common theme. So if you do go dating, if you do the dating site, keep that in mind, that a friend of mine in Vegas said, and this is so true, and I thought it was pretty dark at the time, but you know what? I'm going to pay a lot more attention to it, because he says, in Vegas, he said, nothing is as it seems, and no one is who they say they are. Wow, that's pretty powerful. So the dating game is full of twists and turns and fun and maybe not so fun experiences. So if I learn some more secrets about dating, I will pass them along. That's my dating game advice for the day. I got to get back to packing. Bye.